just in case.
Starting point.
I assume this call won't last for 8 hours.
I hope not, because I'm tired.
I was kind of worried about the duration, but thank goodness we have up to 8 hours. Close call.
So, and Connell, how are you all tonight?
Not doing too bad, all things considered. How's everyone else doing?
As I said a couple minutes ago before you came on, I am kind of sick, but I'm going to pretend not to be for the duration of this call, which may or may not mean my involvement is short.
Please don't get too sick, because I need somebody to sing in the dark of the night with me.
No, I will not. It doesn't matter if I'm sick or not.
So Andrew and I don't really have anything in particular to talk about. We just figured we would answer questions and or complaints and or accept words of cheer, happiness.
Basically, we're asking for your wildest applause and deepest inquiries.
Yes.
Perhaps moderate each, though.
We know it'll be hard because, like, we did such a fabulous job, but
If you're asking for our deepest praise, then we can't moderate it because then it wouldn't be the deepest.
Yes, that's why I want you to moderate it.
I don't know why you're celebrating. You did kill like half of the people that tried to play your game. I mean, that's kind of a crummy move if you think about it.
is it though? I mean,
Yes!
think of it in terms of like a survival game, like Don't Starve. Isn't the point there to kill off the character and make it a real challenge to survive?
Okay, what was the title of the game again?
Don't Starve. Wait, or this our game or the game I
No,
just
it's Don't Starve. It's not, kill the main character as many ways as possible. It's Don't Starve. I mean, there's no room for discussion here. It's pretty obvious, I think.
Ironically, it's way easier to die of like a million other causes in that game rather than starving.
We're getting off the subject, but yes.
I love that game so much.
Yes, as you can tell, we are the morbid sort.
I mean, it was an enjoyable thing, but just out of curiosity, what spawned the idea in the first place?
I wanted to make a different game than Operation Chronos, which was Stephen and Emily's kind of question and answer game.
Yeah, I mean, the forum games have been going on for a number of years now, but they always seem to follow like the same pattern, and I don't know, it seemed to be getting boring.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Let's see. More explanation. What can I say? I don't really quite know how it originated.
Despite us being the originators.
Yes. You'd think that something that originated 3 months ago would be easy to remember. I didn't document it.
No big deal. I was just kind of curious what the thought process was, or.
Yeah. I wanted to make. I mean, the first iteration of this was I wanted to make an escape game, or I wanted to make a game in which people would have to use items in a room in order to get out, which is kind of what it ended up becoming, except that we mostly ended up using items to kill people.
It was delightful.
Well, it was certainly unpredictable, that's for sure. I mean, most of the time when I was going through it, a lot of times I'd be looking at it going, okay, there's probably something I'm supposed to be doing. There's, something where we're supposed to, like, figure this out. And I'd get looking at it and it'd just be like, I have no idea what to do. So I'd like sit in the corner and like I don't know, I'd like mess around with like the 8 ball. Like maybe it actually is magical and does something, or maybe it does something. But ironically, by doing like the dumbest thing, I was able to avoid all of the death traps you apparently had set up everywhere. So that was a nice change of pace. But yeah,
Yeah,
that
we
was,
kind of tried to put hints in, like having the, like 3 flashlights upstairs and then 2 gas masks in the cellar, like things that you didn't find anywhere else. And then people wound up taking those things to other parts of the house where they weren't relevant.
Yeah.
That was a little
However,
bit.
we did not provide the same warning for all the other things, and I think
Yeah.
an improvement to the game would have been, there would have been warnings for electrocutions.
So I think for the electrocution one, that one was supposed to be a bit of a shock.
can we kick her from the call?
Unfortunately, she's hosting it, so
Oh,
no, we can't.
Anyway, it was supposed to kind of surprise everyone.
Yay, Lyndon!
In that way, I guess it worked. Hi, Lyndon. Is Vivaldi still being mean? Gonna take that as a yes.
Anyway, the origination of the game from there on was kind of, I brought the idea to Hannah and we started developing it, asking why in the world are they in this place that they need to get out of? That was,
And we're like,
and
I don't
then
even know how did we come up with the idea of giant?
I think it was the only convenient thing we could think of.
It was also
Or
the
we
least
thought
thing to think of.
we thought of things that could kill people, and one of them was an earthquake. And we thought,
Yeah.
oh, giants can cause earthquakes. I think that's a
Yeah.
So ultimately, it was like a main idea you had, and like you sort of like ended up turning it into like a series of ad libs that kind of led around. That's actually kind of interesting because I don't know, from where I was standing, it seemed like it seemed like everything was very well documented and planned out, and like like systematically prepared in a very very specific way. Which I mean, it was, but it's kind of interesting, like after the fact, to be like, yeah, this was a lot of just like silly, like on the spot ideas, or to some extent, I guess.
Yeah. That was kind of the hard part, was improvising reactions to what everybody did, which in a way we kind of didn't anticipate very well. Especially like keeping track of where everything was. That entire spreadsheet was made up in like a day.
I'm
We
sure it
didn't
was
think that part out at all.
I'm sure keeping track of everything, because I mean on one hand it was nice where like everyone was basically allowed to do whatever they wanted, but I'm sure keeping track of everything was an absolute nightmare. Just as it's like it's
We're
like, oh,
why are we detail-oriented people? Why did we include so many details?
well, it's like when everyone's like I go up and down the stairs like 3 times in one move, and I've moved like 7 different items everywhere, and like stuck them in the ceiling, and it's just like I'm sure it got difficult to keep track of everything. So
Yeah. Especially when some people, Lyndon, went back and edited their posts.
I did specifically say that I was going to do that,
I know.
to be fair.
you did, but it only made it moderately better.
I know. I'm just picking on you.
But then again, we let you do that in the rules, so
Yeah.
who's really to blame?
I don't know. If I don't have the ability to edit my post, I'm going to wait until the very last second to post and then possibly forget, and that's not a good thing.
Yeah.
So did y'all take great pleasure when seeing who got caught where and killing off people?
Oh no, definitely not.
How would we do that? We did have a lot of fun planning. Like all the random references and things you see in our posts, like in the dark of the night and Winnie the Pooh's Grand Adventure quotes. Yeah, that we were just thinking
We are
about
being
those
very
things.
grown up.
Very. You listened to the metal version a few times. It's grown up.
We did.
Well, I did.
As for the actual question you asked, Wagner, we'd have calls to eliminate you guys, and we'd basically spend half of it giggling.
Yeah. Did you know who would get caught where, or kind of like, you know?
Well,
No,
we had our
not necessarily.
hopes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, originally, the chandelier was going to fall because we were hoping somebody would go into the living room and play the piano, except then Andrew changed it so that you didn't know the piano was in there during the first challenge, so that messed it up.
But fortunately, Loomis saved the day.
Oh my goodness, that poor chandelier. Should have been nicer to it.
I have a question.
Chandeliers
Were
have
the,
feelings too. Go ahead.
sorry. Were the stairs originally trapped, or was that put in to deal with me standing on them at the end of the turn?
The stairs were not traps ever.
Mm-mm.
Because I purposely ended the turn on the stairs because I figured they wouldn't be trapped, but then I got hurt anyway.
Oh, well, you weren't sitting under anything. And the earthquake launched you.
Oh, okay. That's
Yeah.
not what happened there. Okay.
We really had to be careful with the earthquake one because originally the earthquake was just going to outright kill people, and then we realized, wait, we're not going to have anybody left.
Yeah.
This could be a problem.
Well, that's the thing, though. Like, at the end of the day, I mean, again, intentionally or unintentionally, it ended up in a way where pretty much it was a way able to, like, weed out a large number of people, but there was still a decent chunk of us left standing, even if, like, we were hurt at the end of the day. Because, you know, my expectation was that, you know, people would be, like, slowly, you know, killed off one by one. Then there'd be, like, you know, some, like, Deus Ex Machina moment, so to speak, where, like, just everyone, like, a bunch of people just, like, immediately bite the dust to, like, weed it out to a select, you know, small group for, like, the end finale. And my assumption was that, you know, I didn't know how that was, like, tied to everything, but, you know, as it got down towards the end, and I was one of like 2 or 3 people left standing that didn't have any wounds, I was like, all right, I know I'm gonna like open the post the day after it's thrown up, and it's just gonna be like, oh, by the way, Connell, you're just completely dead now. Sorry, bye. And it was just like, I even had like an excellent little speech planned out. I was like, my last words were, "But I'm the main character." But it never came, unfortunately. I never got to use it, so, but it was still enjoyable.
Well, Connell, though, I am really disappointed that you did not go up to the giant there at the end in your final post and be like, you will have quite a headache when you awake. But until then, sleep well. Dream of large women. Why didn't you do that?
Well, I thought for sure that I was pretty confident that there was something we were missing on the end challenge. Like, it wasn't so simple as, oh, walk out the door and be happy and merry and blah blah blah. Like,
Yeah,
I was sure that if we didn't like either like do something about the giant and like keep him down for good, he would either like, you know, do something at the end, or like if we were carrying any items out of the house. That's why it was like I specifically stated I dropped everything I had and like took nothing with me, like just in case there was like, you know, one last little trick thrown in at the end. But I ended up overthinking it, so I was just like, yeah, I'm gonna stand here and pretend to be awesome, and then kind of like stumble my way out the door. I don't know.
I still
I
think
mean,
we
he
should
was
have.
out. You knocked him out with a plastic stripper.
What would have happened if we would have killed the giant? Would anything have changed?
No man has ever told what would have happened. Wait, no, that's from a different book. You wouldn't get that. No, yeah, you would. It is. It is. Never mind.
Well, the final post in there wouldn't have been quite so nice, you know? I probably would have really guilt-tripped you guys about murdering the giant. And how I hope you bear that dark stain upon your souls until the end of time. And
I
may
say
his face
you're
haunt
giving
your
me a-
dreams. That
Because
you
I
always
was-
lived in fear. Oh, and I probably would have included something about how you should hope he doesn't have a widow left, because that could be a problem down the road.
Well, I was
Okay, now
thinking
that's
about
an
killing
idea,
the giant.
but-
You cut me off.
Sorry.
I still think we should have burned the house down on the way out so nobody else would get strapped in it.
But it's his museum. You worked hard to collect all those things, which, by the way, that's why all the pictures that, like, Anna and somebody else were examining, they were all, like, from the 2000s-ish, early 2000s, because they were quite old. He collected them a while ago.
So, if it was a museum, why was it built to kill everybody who walks in the door?
It wasn't.
That's how all museums are built, aren't they?
I mean,
Yeah.
there was no
I mean,
way
have
that
you ever
was
seen,
possibly
like,
an
Black
accident.
Panther?
Hmm.
You
At
know,
least
where they
because-
go into
At least we could have sicked
You know,
the building inspector on him.
going to steal things and it just turned into a death trap. That's how museums are supposed to work, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like every time I go to a museum, it's like I always have to fight my way out with a plastic strawberry and fight giants and almost get killed by earthquakes. I mean, that's a pretty normal thing, and I don't see why everyone's so surprised.
So Hannah, since the giant is still alive, and since this is a museum and everything, and nobody burned it down, does that mean there might be around too, like somewhere in the very distant future?
If there is, I'm treating it like a room escape.
There is probably not a round 2. There is none planned at this point.
Not
I-
us, at least.
I did this game primarily to celebrate the termination of power.
By terminating
Yeah.
us.
Yes, by terminating you, in good tradition. But so I will not have power, but maybe Joshua and Anna. You never know. Keep your eye on them. They're dangerous.
That would lead to a conflict because my player would know there would be a sequel and would want not to stop the possibility of that, but my character would know there would be a sequel and want to eliminate the possibility of that.
Well, then you need to try and assassinate the two upcoming. I'm sorry, Anna. I know you're still in the room, but
I know, I'm like here. Don't have any ideas about assassinating people here.
Wait,
Quiet, Hannah.
my character would have to assassinate a person in real life?
well,
Because
you
my
have to
player and my
assassinate
character want
Anna
different
and
things.
Cole because they're the ones who would have to be planning the next sequel or whatever.
But my character would want to prevent the sequel. My player doesn't. My player meaning me. My character meaning the person in the game.
Yeah, but that would require breaking the fourth wall, which, based on the forums, if that's the only way you can do it, I wish you good luck.
No, my character's already thought of it happening again and wanted to prevent that by burning down the house.
Your
It
character's
was-
also dead, Lyndon.
Yes.
Move.
But if you do a sequel, I will get a new character who will have the same
Why
thought
do you
process.
think it was so hard for you to make fire?
I did catch on to that, but I thought, if they're trying so hard to keep me from getting fire, there's got to be something fire is good for, so I kept trying. And I got it, so you killed me right away.
Yep.
Okay.
By the way, Lyndon, I am sorry about that. If there were anything I could do to go back in time and prevent you from being squashed,
Hey, like you said, you had to kill somebody, and nobody was really doing anything that would kill them, so.
yeah.
By the way, hi,
That's not true. I
Catherine.
put a magic 8-ball on a mousetrap. I did something useful. Actually, that's a good point. It wasn't a magic 8-ball. It was just an 8-ball. You lied to me.
No, it was a magic 8-ball.
What did it do? It sat there in my hand and did nothing.
Do you know
the
what a
entire
magic
game.
8-ball is?
It's an 8-ball that's filled with magic. It's in the name.
You shake it, and it gives you some sort of fortune or something.
That's
What was
not
that good
magic.
for?
That's not
What would that have
magic.
done?
It's good for nothing.
Gotcha.
Exactly.
Well, that's good.
A magic 8-ball is this weird thing that was like invented in the 80s or something.
Yeah, I remember. I'm just teasing. I know in Toy Story.
Okay.
When I saw that in my head, my thought process was, oh, there's some magical power to it, or there's something actually useful about it.
No, you see,
Other
this
than-
game was firmly grounded in reality, Connell.
Which
I'm
is
sorry.
why
I'm
Which
sorry,
is
there's
why
something
this-
in my ear. I didn't catch that. What did you say?
this is why all the wiring had difficulty.
Yeah. Everyone holding
Yeah.
a metal object has just been electrocuted and is now half dead. Yeah, that's just screams grounded in reality to me. No pun intended.
And
It was-
dying because
We're
of the
getting killed by
darkness.
darkness here.
Yeah.
You weren't killed by darkness. Let me reiterate. You tripped over things in the dark. You weren't specifically killed by the darkness,
Because
killed because it was dark.
because we moved around, even though we didn't say we moved around, and we smacked our heads really hard by tripping over
You
things we didn't move
panicked. You
towards.
started running
You
towards
were
the stairs.
fine, Lyndon.
I
You had a
stubbed my
flashlight.
toe. My one
What?
weakness.
Sorry, what, Anna?
You had a flashlight, Lyndon, so you were good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was. I said we, not I. I mean, people in the group.
Yeah.
It was fun anyway.
One of the things that did end up surprising me was how many things got taken apart by people, particularly by
Well-
Kyle. I think Josiah, you might have. I don't remember.
I took the filament out of the light bulb,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and it was an utter waste of a turn.
It was.
I didn't know if they didn't say we couldn't pick the locks, and I forgot you said that we couldn't get out until you said it. I was like, well, I don't know how they're trying to make us think, so it's worth a shot.
Wait, they said we couldn't escape until a certain turn? I must have missed that.
I did too.
That would have saved me a lot of trouble.
Yeah, I should have. We should have reiterated that you needed the key specifically to escape.
You know, come to think of it, it didn't save me much trouble because I was focusing on exploring before trying to escape, so I was fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
The thing is that a lot of people overthought like the game itself. Like at
It was
first,
really
like that was
funny.
my first reaction was like overthink everything. But like as like rules started to be like that in place, and like I think by like round 2 or 3, I had like figured out that it wasn't so much as like trying to outwit the game so much as trying to be better at playing it, so to speak. Like, you know, there was no solution of, oh, well, I'll just, you know, disassemble this object in a really clever way, and that means that I can subjugate, like, whatever, you know, trap are going on.
Yeah.
Like, it slowly became more apparent that it was more of a, you know, what can you do, or in my case, not do, to just, I don't know, just, like, kind of make everything work out. I don't really know how to describe it, but it was one of those things where, like, you start off and, like, your natural reactions to overthink everything, but, like, the solution was to not overthink at all, because then you start making mistakes, you start trying to do things that don't work, you start, you know, wasting time on frivolous things when you should be trying to do other stuff, like talk to a magic plastic strawberry.
I would just for 2 reasons. Number 1, you overthink things, you get cool things like I did. Number 2, I forgot what number 2 was. Anyway, you gotta overthink a few things. The trick is just figuring out what to overthink.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. Yeah, I mean, you know, I might have underthought things a bit, or like done stupid things like waiting for stuff to happen. But yeah, I mean, you have to, you know, think beyond things. But you know, you also have to like keep, you know, you also have to be able to take a step back and be like, you know, overall, this is designed in a specific way that I can't subjugate. So
You can't? I don't know what that word means in these games. Also, yeah, the second reason was you always have plenty of time. They didn't set rules on how much you can do in a turn. You gotta abuse that. Just not enough to throw
Oh,
things away.
you abused it all right.
I thought there was a limit to how much you could do in a turn. I thought
No, there were
like
limits
3
to how many things you could pick up in a turn, which some people,
Yeah.
Mr. Big Hands Josiah, also abused.
I thought there was like a limit to 3 actions per turn. Is there
No,
enough-
but to be perfectly honest, your nice little short turns were that were all nicely like listed out were very, very handy when we were figuring out what people were doing.
I know, but I might have stayed alive longer if I had been more complicated.
As Connell said, being complicated, it wasn't really the key in this game.
Mm-hmm.
No.
right, but it was initially portrayed as such. Not necessarily portrayed, I guess, but like again, like the way it was, you know, set up is that was the natural reaction to it, and that was
Yes.
like that was kind of like the biggest deception to it, was that you were led to believe that you had to outwit it when it was just, you know, again, you know, it's my personal belief that now, and in retrospect, you know, the solution was to be better at playing the game than to figuring it out.
The name itself, I thought I wasn't sure if it was a metaphor or if it was like actually gonna involve mice. Like I knew you had mice in it, but I was like, I don't know if that's just to throw us off or if that's actually has a purpose.
Okay, that leads to another question. What were all the mouse traps for? They weren't live mouse traps.
The
They were
giant
just there.
hated
They were
mice.
decorations.
Okay, so would I have taken an injury if I'd stuck my hand in one? Because I almost did that.
No.
Well,
I mean-
somebody went around poking light sockets and they didn't get zapped. I think this is Josiah again. So presumably, like, I would have made the mousetrap malfunction or something like that. Or, you know, I would have said, you're very wide action and are not sticking your hand in a mousetrap.
It's not like it would severely injure somebody. I have friends who've done it for fun. They're weird.
Well to say. Well, Lyndon, I don't know about you, but that sounds a little weird to me.
It's about as weird as people who lick electric fencing on a dare.
That's dumb.
It is
That
dumb.
one.
Wait, how do you know that that's a bad thing? I mean, obviously, but you sound like you have had some experience or something.
Had experience with electric fencing. If it were light outside, I would show you our sheet. Like, yeah, I we have electric
I'm not
fencing.
holding your hand while you touch it, if that's what you're suggesting.
Were you the person that licked the fence, Hannah?
No, but actually the other day when, well, it's been a month now, Mom and I were out planting apple trees, and it was in this garden that had electric fencing around it a while ago for something or other. And we thought the electric was off, and we were measuring the distance between trees, and Mom's like, just hook the measuring tape over the wire. We fine. I did that. And no. That
Ow.
was a bad decision.
That's not good at all.
It was also just a mistake, so. Oh, by the way, Rufus 2. Just to prove that we are generous and tenderhearted, Rufus 2 is not actually originally in the plans.
Yeah, you guys.
But
were
Catherine
supposed-
was so sad.
I was like, okay, we all signed up for this, but you like killed this little mouse. And then you decided to guilt trip us because it was somehow our fault that he died, and it was
You were
just
supposed to take it.
I figured the new one appeared whenever the old one died, but I kind of thought that was pre-planned and that if we killed the second one, the third one would come along.
No, because Mia was sad, and you can't make Mia sad.
I kind of figured that was the reason it came. And I was like, I'm so happy
So
now. And then you're like, you're dead, but Rufus the second. So I'm like, okay, I'm good. I can die. It's alright.
okay, I assumed it was one of those indestructible plot critical items. Okay.
No, we just didn't want to make Mia sad.
If you guys had killed that second mouse, you would have still been able to throw it at the giant.
The dead mouse. Okay.
However, the mouse that was stuck in the cellar, you couldn't go back in there, so it kind of was, in a way, a plot device that was necessary enough for
Wait, but you
escaping.
could have got along without it. It just
We had
would have
alternate
played out
solutions outlined, which were admittedly very weird and would have required a lot more creativity than even plastic strawberries and mice.
Okay, I want to hear this. Got it. Want to read them
So-
off or something?
I don't have them all for memory. I don't know if
you would
we
write
wrote
them all down.
Here's a few of them. There were a number of objects within the house, of which there were 3. There were 3 boxes of Lego and
Oh yeah.
plates. There were 3 mouse traps in the room. Things like that. You know, if you throw one of these things of 3 at the giant, it will at least have an effect.
Mm-hmm. I mean, what would
So
happen?
you know, you
if there
throw
was a box of
Lego
Legos
all
across
over the ground. and the giant steps on it. Giant slips, screams in pain, drops the keys. He's still very much alive, however, but the keys are on the ground.
Now the trick is you need to get to the keys without torturing yourself on Legos too. So
So if we did fail by overthinking it, the solution would have been to overthink it some more.
Yes.
curveballs,
after that,
everywhere.
After that, I think clue items were the next thing that could
Mhm.
do something to the giant.
I think it was Allie who suggested that maybe the clue items were something.
They weren't really meant for something, but I mean,
Other than the achievements.
in theory, we wanted people to be able to get out, at least one person. So we would kind of make up alternatives after that, I think.
I see. I assumed that since it was so obvious from the achievements that they were from the Clue game, it didn't really have anything relevant. Okay.
Yeah, the achievements were a mixture of completely irrelevant and actually very important.
Okay.
Kristen, they
Good to
don't
know.
really do anything except decorate your forum profile. Although I guess you could download them and put them on Facebook too.
How do you put those onto your like profile in the form? Because like I have one badge that's on there, but then it's like another one that I got the turn that I died, and it's not on my profile. So is there a way to get both of them on there?
Is it?
Was it a user card or was it a badge? Because there's a difference.
It's probably different. It was probably a
Yeah, so these new forums incorporate some weird terminology, so let me see if I can understand what you mean. You're looking for the user cards that we gave you, those black things that said like Vane or Phantom of the Opera, easily distracted, tenderhearted, so forth.
like how do you can we display those somewhere?
Can you what?
Can we display them somewhere, like in our forum profiles? Can we include those in our profiles?
They appear when you click your username in a thread, right?
Mm-hmm.
The latest one appears, yes.
They
I'm
don't.
just looking if you can if there's a place where you can just display them all. I don't think so.
Okay.
No, I think you can have I think you can just have one.
Okay. Alright. Well, the best one is on my profile, so I'm happy. Just thought I would ask.
You guys actually never got around to earning one of my favorite achievements, which was the opposite of the tender-hearted achievement.
Give me a second chance and I'll come back as an evil wizard. And I'll destroy everything in sight.
I should destroy everything inside. That's pretty much what I was thinking I would do in a sequel to. That would be a very good idea, now that I think about it.
Yeah.
I would keep looking for ways out because I kept looking for secret passageways. I was like, surely there's gonna be a secret passageway somewhere, and there wasn't any. I was like, I'm so disappointed.
And for the record, you guys were totally right not to let me have fire.
There you go. That's why we didn't let you have fire.
You know what would happen if we had fire? We would have just blown ourselves up.
Since the job of the players to try
Doing a really good job of dying already, so.
Since the job of the players to break the game and the job of the GMs to keep the game from being broken.
Sure. one of the favorite achievements that I got to hand out actually was when Kyle took the sled and jumped clear into the wardrobe. That
Yes.
was very, very satisfying
Oh, very.
to give him the "this isn't Narnia" achievement. Like
To be
Lyndon
fair.
peeked and Lyndon was peeking in there. And we're like, does that
Can that
qualify?
count?
And then Kyle just runs with the sled into there and jumps.
More than one way to do things.
Yeah.
So how stupid would we have to have been acting for you guys to start giving us injuries from things that weren't planned in game?
I mean, if there was anything that was stupid enough, that would be jumping in the wardrobe with a sled.
No, I
You
mean,
didn't-
if we had been actively suicidal or fighting each other or something, would that have been enough, or would we have been invulnerable?
I think we would have made it a critical plot device that you could not kill each other or hurt yourselves. You wouldn't do anything useful. You would just like stop.
And that would begin pondering the realism of the game, and nobody wants that.
Fourth wall breaking, Lyndon.
That's... Wait, I would notice that without breaking... My character would notice that, believe me.
On that subject, actually, that was my original plan for the game. Is I was just going to like run around constantly, just like referencing the fact that it was a literal game of cat and mouse taking place on a forum. But I don't know. I thought that would ruin it, so I didn't. But that was my original like plan. Like when I first signed up for it, that wasn't like my thought process. But when the first challenge actually hit, that was my like entire plan. And once I went to go post, I was like, no, I don't want to ruin this because this could actually be really, really good. So I ended up not. But in retrospect, I think I probably would have done a little bit more for it, but I don't know.
Yeah. I think that would have been cool.
To the, I don't know, Deadpool extent or anything. Not that I watched Deadpool.
No, not to a Deadpool extent. There's better ways of breaking the fourth wall, but it's the same idea, I guess. But
I actually just saw a gift set today. I think it was from Men in Tights, Robin Hood Men in Tights, with Carrie Ellis, the guy who played the Man in Black from Princess Bride. And I guess the scene comes right after the famous archery match in front of Prince John. You know,
Mhm.
he says, "I lost. Am I supposed to lose? Let me see the script."
oh yeah, and then everyone actually like pulls out the script and checks, and they're like, oh wait, no, never mind. He's supposed to get another shot, and then it like takes the other shot. And,
Right.
yeah, yeah, that was like, yeah.
Now my brain is going off on a tangent about whether or not Princess Bride would have been more interesting if there had been fourth wall breaking in that movie. But
No more than once or twice.
Pretty much everything
Yeah.
gets a lot funnier when it like admittedly like it can be done improperly, but most of the people that actually make use of it as a device actually do it pretty well.
Yeah, but if everybody starts doing it, it won't be funny anymore.
yeah,
Like Schlock Mercenary, that's seriously too much.
I'm thinking about having a literal Hunger Games type game where people actually do fight each other to emerge victor.
Oh, when you said literal 100 names, I was like, ew, so we're all gonna stand around and try not to eat or something? It's like, that sounds boring. count me out if that's the case.
Anorexic challenge. No, it's not fun.
I'll warn you ahead of time. I will join, and I will likely be some sort of pacifist.
And then you'll die really quickly.
I might, but then everybody will feel real guilty about it.
Kristen, all the challenges were planned out ahead of time, and we had written out like some of the script about like what we were going to say, supposing that certain things had happened, but a lot of that stuff had to be edited given what you guys actually did. And then like the final boss battle, I guess you could call it. It wasn't very much of a boss battle, but that was completely improvised.
Plan A never survives first contact with the enemy.
No, it does not. I was saying that in the Discord chat a little while ago. Is I was just start off, based on that knowledge, I would just start off with Plan B and go through down to Z up until there, since Plan A pretty much always fails anyway. So
yeah, Plan B usually takes a bullet for Plan C too. That's actually a direct quote from somewhere.
Depends on how bad you are at Plan B, but I digress. This one's like, oh well, you only have 26 plans. Well, if by 26 plans I haven't figured it out, I probably don't deserve to figure it out in the first place. So
that, or you're good at making a lot of plans instead of a lot of plans so one of them succeeds. Actually, a lot of games have sort of this implicit question of whether the GM is trying to kill the players or not. It was interesting to see a game where that question was openly answered as yes. The GMs are trying to kill the players.
I mean, what were you expecting from us? Did you think that we were going to be nice to give out? I mean, we did give out cookies, but
well, the thing where you openly said we are going to try to kill you was somewhat of a hint. Just saying.
Only somewhat, though.
Isn't that the point of being a GM, though, to make it being as brutal as possible?
Not really. Actually, I think you're supposed to try to make it as fun for everybody as possible. Otherwise, you won't get players.
But
sometimes you have to fudge the rules. What? Like when somebody was about to die, I introduced a concept called adrenaline, which is if you would die on a certain turn, you get +2 to your roll. But it only can be activated once per battle. And then I made a few easier rules for death. I just think that killing the players is just going to make things boring for everybody in the long run.
Yeah, true. I mean, in a normal like tabletop RPG, you don't really want to kill players because that's kind of mean. But in a game like this, where the goal is actually to narrow people down.
Yeah, that's totally fine. You kill players in that scenario. In your game, yeah, go kill players.
And I mean, sometimes the players just make it brutal on themselves.
Yes.
I remember the last time we had an RPG on this channel, or on this Google account that I'm on right now. The guys had opened up fire on the Griffins, but they only had 6 arrows.
Oh.
Somebody really was not thinking that through.
Wow. Yeah, I don't really expect anybody. I don't think you can count on the players figuring out whatever the GM wants them to do. So sometimes I even just make up challenges that I don't have any thought-through solution for. I expect them to come up with one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Still trying to figure out whether that's smart.
Well, I mean, you can't necessarily predict like how people will react to things. Like you can make it as obvious as you want that this is what you are supposed to do next, and that doesn't mean that they're necessarily going to do it. So there's a bit of give and take in both respects. But I think like ultimately the quote unquote best scenario is where like you like both like feed off of each other, and like you like learn your way around. Like like you're being hinted at to do this, but you're being given that hint in the first place because they created that based off of what it's like it's like basically like it's a symbiotic sort of thing, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But again, it varies by game because I mean they're designed like a lot of like the forum RPGs that are running around that are popular these days. Those run a lot differently from Cat and Mouse. Those are designed with the goal of adventure and yada yada in mind, as opposed to this, which was literally designed to you're destined to die. Can you live? It's like it's sort of a different mindset, so to speak.
And the setup was actually better for a game that has a specific ending time, as opposed to one of the normal ones that's set up to run forever.
hopefully.
Not forever, but not
Yeah.
gonna end for a very long time.
Yeah.
Especially if nobody posts. I need to post. Couldn't think of it. Awkward silence ensues.
Wait,
Oh,
for the
Monday, that was barely an awkward silence.
No, but I wanted to say that, so I did.
Were the cookies just because you guys really were nice and just giving us cookies?
Yes.
Yes,
Aw.
and yes and no. They were also a reference to the league's plans now,
Mm-hmm.
where on the website the cookies were on top of the fridge.
Mm-hmm.
The cookies are always on top of the fridge now.
I thought the cookies were going to be for baiting the mouse traps after the cheese didn't work or something. Okay.
No,
Might have worked.
the cookies
cheese
were
was the
also
main
there for the
thing.
year so fish achievement. I got and was very proud of.
Sorry, which achievement?
You're
Y'all
so
so selfish.
yes.
Oh, that one. Okay. Yeah. Heard that time.
If we had given it to the giant, would we have appeased the giant?
No.
No, because the giant made the cookies, and why are you giving him cookies that he himself made?
What about my torch idea? Would that have worked for Piece of Giant?
No.
No,
Would
Probably
anything
not.
work for Piece of Giant?
No.
he probably.
Okay.
What about just like apologizing, being like, "I'm sorry, like we got locked in your house and we couldn't get out." Like,
Okay, that maybe for you, Mia, because you're Mia and you're very sweet.
well, I mean, it's kind of like you have a museum. We went to visit your museum. Then you somehow got locked in your museum. I mean, it's not exactly my fault that I destroyed your house.
So
Wait,
I mean,
wait.
in the moment, looking over all his possessions that were smashed or eaten or just
Yes.
completely disfigured into something else,
And his mouse that died.
he was a little bit mad in the moment, a little bit
I know,
angry.
Wait, no, you see, that's what you do. You explain to the giant that you were locked in the house and told
Mhm.
to get out by two other people, and you point him towards them.
To be fair,
You go get angry at them.
But he's so angry. That's all. I'm not sure he would have listened to our explanation.
well, there were two alternatives to trying to defeat the giant and take his keys. One, trying to reason with him, which considering that we kind of been in the house and breaking stuff. I mean, if you walked downstairs and you saw a bunch of strangers in a room and they said, "Hey, your whole house is completely trashed and there's poison gas everywhere and everything's been electrocuted," and they said, "Okay, so by the way, we just randomly all walked in here one day," and I mean, your first reaction would not be to just sit down and have a calm conversation with them, especially if you're a
No.
giant. So that option was probably out, and it was explicitly stated that we were supposed to kind of do something to take the keys from him by force, not just be like, "Oh, hey, by the way, can you let us out the front door?" But the other alternative was, based on the timings, like we only had one round to actually make anything happen. So it wasn't one of those things where it's like we had a lot of time to figure out, well, let's, see what he does first and make sure that we're not. It's just like, we had, there was only so many options, and that was kind of what it ultimately came down to was.
Well,
You know.
originally the plan was to make the giant a lot more sinister than he was. Originally the plan was going to be that you all were out on a picnic, and you were by this glade of trees, and then you all took a nap in the sun, and then you woke up in this house. And the idea was the giant liked
Oh,
to
the
collect
idea-
human things and also humans.
Oh,
And-
okay.
Yeah, and you were like the latest addition to the collection.
Okay, thank you for clarifying that. Because at first it
Yeah.
sounded like, so the original idea was you were all going to be out on a picnic and this giant built a house around you.
No.
Okay.
Still, we went to
Fipo Fum style, yeah.
That would be a long nap.
man. If you guys don't use that sometime, I
Like
might.
in Genesis, where deep sleep fell upon Adam. I mean, he was in a coma there.
Seriously, the zoo idea is a good one, though.
The giant like poisoned everybody's food, and everybody just passed out.
Yeah.
There's an idea. Still, we were pretty well the bad guys in that adventure. This should just about be a sequel where we go back and put everything back how it was or something.
Or the giant like erects his revenge by kidnapping us all over again.
Yeah, Andrew vetoed the whole like giant collecting humans idea because he thought it was too morbid. I think it. Yeah, you did.
I thought we
Sorry.
just forgot to use it.
Yeah, here
No,
you.
no, you said, let's not do that.
I don't know. Listening to you say the words "too morbid" seems very ironic, but maybe that's just me.
Yeah, I said Andrew thought it was too morbid. I did not. I came up with it. I spoke this building.
It depends on what he does with the human, how morbid it is.
If you make the same adventure have enough dark and also enough humor, you can start messing with the players a bit, and that's kind of fun, I think. I don't know for sure because I've never tried that, but it sounds like it would be fun.
Mm-hmm.
Not that it's just that I haven't had a chance to try it. I should try that sometime.
Kristen, would he have eaten you? Possibly in the most morbid version, yes, but I'm pretty sure I did veto that.
I was both closer and tastier, and also already prepared for eating due to the whole squish thing rather than some sort of heroic death.
The human squad.
Hey, you didn't fall on Rufus too. Be happy.
I ran away instead of falling. I wasn't even killed on purpose. I was killed by accident, and I wasn't even
Accidents happen.
Wait, that is the most ignoble death possible. I'm pretty sure.
It's okay, London. It was for a worthy cause, even if it was a kind of
Yeah, it
pathetic.
accomplished nothing. It was Claire Oswald
No,
as
you
except that I
didn't
actually did
accomplish
something.
nothing. The giant tripped over you, so.
The giant the giant tripped over the wire and landed on me.
No, you tripped over the wire. The giant tripped over you.
Wait, would have tripped over the wire anyway.
You see, you saved everybody's life.
And at least you
Alright.
survived longer than the second round.
You did survive, Lyndon.
My death scene was still better than Claire Oswald's.
I just want to know if they actually took your body out and buried you, or if they just left you there for the giant, like when you woke up.
Now we're guilty of littering as well. With dead bodies.
I think you all turned into ghosts.
Oh, yeah, but that isn't the original body.
Yeah.
Maybe this adventure is a little more morbid than we thought.
Oh, the other thing is that when Nathaniel first went and hid under the dining room table, Andrew and I went, "Oh no, we didn't plan anything for the dining room." He could have stayed under the dining room table for the entire game, and nothing would have hit him.
Nah, so you would have figured out something, I'm pretty sure.
We probably would have, but still, it was funny because he went back under the dining room table for like 2 consecutive challenges, and we were like, "Oh boy, we're gonna need to do something about this."
I had a thought. Ghosts are there because they have unfinished business on Earth, right? So what's our unfinished business? What is the task still left to us before we leave for our eternal rest?
Well, that is
waiting
only
for round 8 to be
theoretical.
finished.
What?
I said waiting for round 8 to be finished. Once that was done,
But we're still
It-
ghosts.
It was quite possible that we were waiting to see that everyone made it out of the house safely.
But
to
we're still
cover our
ghosts.
fates.
Whatever it was, it hasn't been accomplished because we're still here.
I guess that's for you to figure out then.
Mhm.
I mean, people are still posting as ghosts in chat and stuff. I'm not, but I just declared myself a vampire.
Mm.
a vampire ghost. How efficient.
You can't be a vampire and a ghost because vampires are already undead.
I can be anything I want.
Yeah, I guess you could. At least if I keep designing RPGs that way, but this should take some.
I was gonna say, take another look at my profile pic and tell me I can't be anything I want to be. Just saying.
Yeah, I've seen your character in The Hunt for the Outwise. I'm pretty sure you're willing to be whatever you want to be.
I've got a good imagination and I've got a lot of characters in my novel to flesh out, so that's a good way to make it happen.
To be fair, I did state be whatever you want to be.
Yep, and that's why I checked, because I know a lot of people are more into like a lot of people are very familiar with like trying to keep things around like Lord of the Rings and Hobbit-like style things, or like stuff like in that sort of thing. But when it comes to fiction, I'm usually like way in my own little world, and Lord only knows where. So I'm usually hesitant about just kind of going off on a tangent. But
Mhm.
And the Tolkien universe did need I forgot what it's called, symbiote thing.
it needed that guy.
Yeah, that guy.
Every good story needs that guy, and I'm always happy to be that. It's like, we need someone who makes the other people look insane. Hey, give Connell a call, see if he wants to join.
I'm pretty
Like-
sure it's not the other people who look insane. But whatever.
I don't think so.
Okay, random question. In the party, the classic RPG party of fighter, mage, healer, whatever, rogue, what do you see your character as? Because I have not figured out where you're trying to go with that.
Me?
Wait, that's seriously derailing, isn't that?
It's a little bit, yeah, but yeah, I'll answer that on another time. I don't want to derail everyone from the sitting here
Yeah.
staring into their webcam sort of gig. We got a nice thing going on, so.
Yeah. Sorry, I shouldn't have derailed us there. I hope I'm never an engineer.
I probably should get off of here and go eat some dinner because that was prepared like half an hour ago, and I'm hungry.
Okay.
So
Hi, Andrew.
thank you all for
Bye.
having this call with me.
Yeah.
Hey,
bye.
thanks for hosting it.
Yeah, bye, Andrew.
Bye.
Actually, no, I want to know what Kristen asked too.
Oh, this will be revealed.
Shouldn't
Actually,
we wait until people actually receive them?
Oh yeah, good point.
yeah, we're gonna try and send prizes out by the end of this month. In fact, I was supposed to work on that today, but I forgot. So
Okay.
I'll be working on that tomorrow.
If I get a plastic strawberry or a magic 8-ball in the mail, I'm going to like personally send you like, I don't know, like the most amazing like gift in response. But
Aw, thanks. We'll keep that in mind.
So you are going to announce all those, I'm imagining.
Hmm?
So you are going to announce all those, right? Once they get sent out.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna hope that. Well, let's see. Once everybody has theirs,
Mhm.
I'll probably post what they were online. That way, people who haven't talked to theirs yet won't have this prize ruined, and
Yeah.
everybody can enjoy what it was. So. Oh, okay. So is there anything else I wanted to address? Garrett did a good job figuring out like who the final boss was going to be, like way beforehand. So like, I think he figured out that it was going to be a giant, probably, and he did a lot of reading. And Andrew, I was just like, dang it, you're hoping too clever here. And then he goes, oh, but I'm probably overthinking everything.
Remind me, how did we figure out it was a giant anyway? I never did figure it out until a giant actually came storming out.
There was a book that said giants hate mice, plus the ceilings were usually high. And
Oh, and all the books had to do with giants.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Forgot about that one. Right. That's kind
yeah.
of
All the books, I think, almost all the books had something to do with giants.
yeah.
And it was the book that Kristen and I were reading that talked about how giants hate mice.
Yep.
I broke some serious rules of, what information my character knows there, but nobody complained, so whatever.
We probably should wrap this call up because it is getting quite late for all of us here on the East Coast.
Yeah.
So, yes, any last questions, comments, words of praise, thanks?
Hey,
I was going to
cool,
say
thanks
something
for doing it.
nice. And, yeah, it was an interesting experience. I was definitely not expecting it to be as entertaining as it was. So thank you much for putting that on.
Aw, thanks.
I was. Thank you.
Also, thank you for not killing me. That's the most important part.
I did have to give you an injury though, because the night before you and I were on Casey's call, and you were talking about how you hadn't taken a hit so far. So, yeah. It had to happen.
Also, if I hadn't said that, I would have gone through unscathed.
Maybe.
Oh well, I still
The
survived. Just
opportunity presented itself to scathe you in some way, so I had to do it.
That's fair
Yeah.
enough. Again, I kind of expected to die like right off the bat, so I was kind of surprised when I was just like, actually, this is kind of getting towards the end, and I'm still alive. What? So
Yeah. Okay, anything?
I just appreciated how creative y'all were with it, because most of the time, games like that I've seen employ a lot of magic, and I just thought it was kind of cool that y'all managed to make a whole very interesting game without having the players have to have magical powers, or you have
There's a
magical
magic
powers.
ball, though.
Well, and except there's a giant
Yeah,
who owns the house.
but it wasn't like you randomly like flew to a different room. It was just like, you know, or this strange power just zapped your soul out or something. You know, yeah.
No, that would have been completely unrealistic, yeah.
Light socket protection. There was that too.
And the giant being scared of ice is totally realistic.
Yeah.
Well, it proves that the old wives' tale about elephants being scared of mice is actually true. It's something to do with emotion or something. So it wouldn't be entirely unrealistic to say a giant is also scared of mice, maybe? I don't know.
My mom freaked me out last night, I think, nights ago, because she walked into the garage for something and a mouse ran across the floor and she screamed. And she and I were the only people at home at the moment, so.
Oh, so scary.
And yeah, actually, we kind of got the idea about, like, making the giant really afraid of mice, because for some reason the idea of having a cat and mouse game and there being a giant reminded me of this old poem about the elephant and the grasshopper, where the grasshopper treads on the elephant's toe and the elephant says, with tears in his eyes, pick on somebody your own size. So,
A tragedy, to be sure.
yeah. That's what gave us that idea, kind of.
I need to go, guys. Thank you for the call and thanks for the game.
Kristen, the food was plastic because you were basically in a dollhouse, except it was giant sized.
So the giant was actually making a model of a human house as a museum?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
But the plastic strawberry was my friend. We had a conversation under the pool table for like 3 rounds. Everyone else just ran around like a chicken with their head cut off, and the plastic strawberry actually listened to me.
What strange things did that strawberry whisper to you, Connell?
Kill them all.
But Connell makes other people look insane, remember?
No, I make other people look sane.
Oh, okay.
I make insane people look like they've got good ideas.
Hey, I just thought of another question. Could I have hung out all day on the staircase? Like, I think it was Nate could have done with the kitchen or the dining room table without taking hits since it wasn't trapped. Except the earthquake.
Yeah, the earthquake really would have shaken you up.
But other than that,
You're terrible.
but other than that, could I have just pretty much stayed on the staircase all day?
Yeah, I think so.
Interesting.
But see,
That's all
Nathaniel
I know.
was really safe because he was under the table, meaning nothing would affect him, even the earthquake.
Yeah. But I eventually got hit with the earthquake anyway.
Yeah. Okay. It's nearly 9:30, so thank you everybody for coming, and I'm glad you all enjoyed the game, and who knows, maybe Anna and Cole can come up with something really cool at some point in the future.
Yeah, who knows? I'll have to start planning.
You guys are creative. I'm sure you guys can do it. So, good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.